sharing the help.
Feels fantastic. You know, in times like this, we all can use a little help.
The Irving Hispanic Chamber of Commerce hands out free masks, gloves, and more. Find out what led to this campaign. Drive-through supplies.
Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see just everyone helping us.
The Irving Schools Foundation's Supplies for Success event looks a lot different this year. See how organizers work to make it exciting and effective during this pandemic. Pop-up fun.
Just have some time to be outside and play.
To engage our residents and show them that we care.
Irving Parks and Rec hosts a series of pop-up events. We'll tell you how to get in on the next one. Plus, new loans for local small businesses and tips for protecting your car from theft. Now on City Source. Hello and welcome to City Source. I'm Thomas Gandy. Our top story today is new resources to help small business owners affected by the pandemic. It's called the Emergency Business Assistance Program, and it will provide forgivable loans up to $50,000 to Irving businesses. The pre-application process runs through September 7th. There are qualifications to be aware of, and those are listed at cityofirving.org/COVID-EBAP. The city and its partners are working to spread the word about the available funds.
It's a loan, but I really call it a grant because after a period of time, 4 months if you stay in business, the loan is forgiven. So it's an opportunity to sustain or help sustain your business in these tough times.
That is money that stays in Irving. That is for our Irving businesses. And so we know that there's a lot of people hurting, and we need to do whatever we can do to keep them in business, and I think this is a great opportunity.
Communication is key. Knowing these are out there are vital. And then at the study, we've offered really to provide one-on-one guidance for these small businesses. So often you can be intimidated by the application process or answering some of the questions, and we want to make sure that we're here to hold your hand and walk you through that process so that you do indeed get that loan and convert it to a grant.
Along with those you saw there, the other partners include the Irving Las Colinas Chamber of Commerce, the City of Irving, and the National Development Council. Successful applicants will be selected at random to receive the funds, which are made available to the city through the CARES Act. That's just one of the assistance programs available to Irving residents. Find out about funds for housing, utilities, childcare, and more at cityofirving.org/COVID-19. Of course, there is a lot of talk about how COVID-19 is affecting schools. An event that always kicks off the school year saw some big changes this year. Here's our coverage of Supplies for Success. Dancing and cheers to start a very different school year.
This is a time like you've never seen in history.
Yes, it is. It's a very hard time.
And I just want these kids to enjoy each and every day.
Focusing on the positive is what led to this reimagined Supplies for Success Distribution Day. In past years, this event drew thousands of students and their families to Irving High School. They line up, they fill hallways, all things that are discouraged with the current focus on social distancing.
Obviously with COVID, we had to make a change, and originally the plan was to cancel the event entirely. We just couldn't risk our kids getting sick.
Rather than cancel, the Irving Schools Foundation made this a drive-through. Families stay in their cars while volunteers pass the backpacks.
Just a great day to be out with everybody and see these parents excited.
This is an awesome event.
And we're very fortunate to have the Schools Foundation and the schools working so closely together to make sure that they have the equipment and the supplies that they need.
Our theme today is superhero, which is why I'm wearing capes. We told the families it'll be a fun outing for your kids. So it was the first 500 families that signed up got to come through the drive-thru.
I got 2 blue.
Other families will pick up backpacks at their campuses. School counselors nominate families to receive these donated school supplies that come with something extra this year.
We threw in some earbuds because a lot of kids are doing virtual learning. And then we are so thankful to Crisis Ministries. They donated a whole bag of food for each of our kids.
It takes a big team of partners and volunteers to bring all of this together. The Irving Fire Department helps collect supplies each year at the fire stations.
The Irving community is struggling right now, especially with the COVID. The fire department likes to give back to the community. This is one of our major initiatives we do every year.
The Irving Parks Department provided characters and all of those bubbles to add to the vibe. And then there are all of the community volunteers.
I've always enjoyed helping out, especially the back-to-school events.
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful. This is great.
I'm just sad that they can't be out of their cars and we can't see them in person, really.
I want to keep their happiness going because, I mean, it's hard being at home.
And students will be at home for a while longer. In compliance with county order, the Irving Independent School District started classes remotely for all students on August 17th. On September 8th, in-person instruction is expected to begin for families making that choice. For others, remote learning will continue. I asked families about their decision.
Well, we're doing distant learning at this time, until things get a little more under control.
For now, I allow him to be safe, so we go online.
But they still need school supplies.
My husband and I are unemployed, so, every little bit does help.
The Irving Schools Foundation expects challenges for families to continue.
The biggest need, I think, is going to be serving the whole child, so it's going to be a lot more of the food that the kids need.
It's completely different. There's all this concern about social distancing. Part of the whole growing up is having those friends that you make in school and spending time with them.
This year, more so than ever, our kids need our support.
On this day, families are feeling that support.
Thank you so much, everyone, for helping. We really appreciate it.
It's always great to see how the city of Irving comes together whenever there's an issue, whenever there's a need.
They're starting the school year with packed supplies and masked smiles from the Irving Schools Foundation and its partners.
Thank you. Have a good school year.
You heard me mention that other backpacks will be available at school campuses. The Irving Schools Foundation prepared 7,900 backpacks in all. A reminder that Wells Fargo is teaming up with the North Texas Food Bank and Feeding America for food distribution events. There are a few dates left. August 31st, September 14th, and September 28th. The distribution takes place at Wells Fargo Auto. That's at 6061 State Highway 161 in Irving. This is part of a nationwide initiative by Wells Fargo to provide 50 million meals to people in need. We have just shown you programs to offer food and school supplies, and here is another program meeting another need. The Irving Hispanic Chamber of Commerce worked with Dallas Forward and other partners to offer safety supplies to people driving by.
So today's an exciting day for the Irving Hispanic Chamber.
We are giving away free PPEs to all our members and anybody that comes through here today.
Protective masks that we're giving out. And we also have some gloves, hand sanitizer as well.
Thank you so much.
Just to let them know that we are here to support them.
I think it's a great idea.
In times like this, we all can use a little help.
Thank you. We've heard in the news that a lot of times it was really hard to go ahead and get. So we had generous donations from a lot of different vendors and businesses. And on behalf of the Chamber, we were out here today to support our community and hand these out.
It's a financial stress on everybody.
Businesses are struggling to pay the rent and the utility bills.
This is really just to help with some of those struggles.
Whatever we can do to help.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day, sir.
It's just a great honor to be able to connect with our chamber members. We've been in quarantine for so long, so just seeing the familiar faces is just always great.
The gloves, sanitizer, protective mask. You've got to wear these masks. You've got to stay protected.
We're all here to support each other. Like they say, we're all in this together.
And on a related note, DART has started installing hand sanitizer and face mask dispensers on all of its buses and light rail vehicles. The goal is to have the project complete by early September. In other public health news, more mosquitoes are testing positive for West Nile virus.
We already have, some of the mosquitoes coming out positive in some of the traps that we put in the city of Irving. So it's very important, don't forget, put your deed, when you go out to work, and I know right now that during this pandemic, we're all going out to keep our sanity. Have your protection, long sleeves, and don't forget, it's very important that we take care of ourselves. Our health is extremely important during this pandemic. We know that underlying conditions are one of the factors that cause the coronavirus to, be deadly. So it's very important that we keep healthy habits.
Anytime Irving gets word of a positive sample, crews spray the affected area in the overnight hours. Residents are also advised to take steps to reduce mosquito breeding grounds in their own yards by eliminating standing water. Find spraying schedules and more prevention tips at irvingfightsthebite.org. Auto thefts often increase in the summer months. In Irving, police say trucks and SUVs are the most popular targets. But regardless of what you own, there are things you can do to protect your ride. Daniel Armbruster from AAA Texas is here to talk about this. Daniel, thanks for making the time.
Thank you for having me.
So let's get into this. What do the latest numbers show about how big of a problem this is?
Well, it's a really big problem in Texas, and it's also a big problem in the Metroplex. And Irving, in fact, has one of the highest motor vehicle theft incident numbers in the Metroplex of all cities in the Metroplex. Comes in fourth place. So certainly Dallas and Fort Worth lead, but then we see Plano and then Irving. It's important for those who live in Irving to be aware of how to protect their vehicle. In fact, we see a motor vehicle in the U.S. stolen every 42 seconds. 65,000 motor vehicles were stolen in Texas in 2019, and an additional 200,000 were burglarized. So it's a big problem, and certainly something that is not going away anytime soon.
So that gets into prevention, and many of the prevention tips are common sense, but they do bear repeating. What are some of the common mistakes people make that could lead them to becoming a theft victim?
Well, one of the things we see, Thomas, is that a lot of times, especially at home or in a familiar parking garage, folks will leave their doors unlocked or they will leave valuables in their car. Well, most motor vehicle crimes occur at the home or in parking lots or parking garages. And so it's really important, no matter where your vehicle is or how safe you feel that place is. If you're leaving valuables in your vehicle, if you're not parked in a well-lit area, if you're not taking those valuables outside of the vehicle and making sure that your vehicle is locked and not leaving keys behind in your vehicle, you're really asking for thieves to steal your property. And so it's important to not leave key fobs behind. That's actually pretty common, is that we see either key fobs or spare keys left in a vehicle, or that the vehicle is unlocked. And so it's really important to make sure that you're locking your vehicle every time, that you're taking your valuables, and that you are making sure that the vehicle has been secured and is in a well-lit area.
Some good steps to take. And here's a circumstance we may not think about as being so common, but people are stealing cars during test drives.
Yeah. So, if you're going to be selling your vehicle, make sure you get that person's driver's license, get a picture of their driver's license, take a picture on your phone, get their insurance information, because one thing we do see from time to time is that thieves will target those who are selling their vehicle personally and will take it on a test drive and not return that vehicle. So it's important to set a time of when you're expecting them back, where they're going, how many miles will be driven, and making sure that you have their personal information should something occur.
Let's switch up the topic a bit to motorcycle safety. You have TxDOT's latest numbers showing a decline in motorcycle fatalities, but that doesn't mean the news is all good, correct?
That's right. Yeah, we saw 412 people that were killed on motorcycles in Texas last year. And so that number did go down, and that's great news. But we still have a big problem in Texas, because motorcycles, while they make up over 11% of the fatality crashes we see in Texas, there's only 1 to 2% of the motor vehicles that are registered in Texas are registered as motorcycles. So they're really overrepresented in fatalities. And so there's several reasons for that. But certainly it's good news the numbers went down, but we still have a significant problem in Texas when it comes to motorcycle safety and sharing the road between riders and drivers of vehicles.
Let's get into some of those reasons. What are some of the things motorcyclists can do to increase their visibility?
Well, certainly, because motorcyclists are 27 times more likely to be killed in a motor vehicle crash, it's so important for motorcycles to be visible. So making sure that your headlight is always on, that the clothing you're wearing, your attire, is visible and bright colored, making sure there's enough distance between vehicles when you're changing lanes or when you're passing around another vehicle, using your mirrors when you're passing, looking over your shoulder and double checking is so important. And also, of course, wearing a helmet. It's in Texas, if you're over the age of 21, you can get a permit to where you don't have to wear a helmet. But AAA recommends that everyone, regardless of age, wears a Department of Transportation certified helmet, because we see often about half of the fatal motorcycle fatalities in Texas are riders who do not have helmets.
Yeah, what about other drivers? What are some things that people in cars and trucks can do to better share the road?
Yeah, well, we give instructions to motorcyclists on how to be safe. Most of the crashes we see in Texas are actually motorcycles are the victims in those crashes because a driver did not see them. So that's why it's so important for them to be visible. But also it's important for other drivers to be alert and be aware, especially during the summer months and going into fall when things get a little bit cooler outside. You're going to see a lot of motorcycles on the road. You're going to see them more often on the weekends, but you're going to see them all the time. It's important to be vigilant, making sure that if you do see a motorcyclist, you're aware of where they are. You're staying at a safe distance behind them, at least 4 seconds, and making sure that if you're at an intersection and you're turning left, this is where we see, Thomas, most of the crashes, the fatal crashes in Texas are at intersections that involve motorcyclists. And what it is the driver of the car is going to be turning left. And as they turn left, they don't see an oncoming motorcyclist. And that's how most of the crashes, the fatal crashes, occur in Texas.
Very important safety tips. Daniel Armbruster with AAA Texas, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
More news now. The city is accepting applications from residents interested in serving on a range of boards, committees, and commissions. There are groups to match many interests: the arts, animals, tourism, parks, and more. A full listing with descriptions is at cityofirving.org. The deadline to apply is September 18th. Prospective board members must be qualified voters and have lived in the city for at least a year. Now to an opportunity for fun, if you know how to find it. The Parks and Rec team is hosting pop-up events all over the city, and we checked out a few of them.
These children are playing an unusual game. They're trying to put on a Frozen t-shirt. It's just one activity that's part of the Irving Parks Department's fun new initiative.
Let's do a pop-up in the park.
It's designed for us to get out into the community and put together small-scale events or activities for our residents.
We checked out 3 recent pop-up events. This one at Northwest Park is called Frozen in the Heat. Along with crafts, the kids enjoyed snow cones. Next, we went to Family Game Day at Cimarron Park, where kids played some of their favorites.
Bingo. Hangman. We all got to say like different words. We got to choose what type of topic it was and stuff. We have prices for them, snacks, drinks.
This event at Woodhaven Park is called Electrolytes and Kites. You can see all of these events have a different theme developed by Parks and Rec.
Everybody on our team is pretty much really creative and imaginative.
And they call these pop-up events for a reason. They don't give much notice that they are happening, and that's intentional.
It's something that we're doing where we're not doing a lot of advertising on the front end.
Mainly because of safety reasons, because we don't want too many people hoarding, and we're trying to keep people as safe as possible.
The best place to find out about these events is at facebook.com/Irving Parks and Rec.
We'd really like to have them in our rec centers and engaged in our programs like normal, but we know that we have to operate a little bit differently. So we're going out where we can space things out, keep the crowds a little bit smaller, and try to provide something safely.
To provide that safety, organizers arrive early.
Every time we come out, we sanitize the tables.
How are y'all today?
As people show up, the park staff checks the temperatures of attendees. Masks are required. Also,
we try to do our best to keep all the familiar units at least 6 feet apart, try to make our events as contactless as possible.
I really appreciate it because we haven't really been out much, and in our minds it's like, oh, how safe is it going to be? But it really is a peace of mind.
Melissa Montoya and daughter Kathy had a great time at Electrolytes and Kites.
This is not our first one we've come to. We've come to another one as well, and I'm like, it's a lot of fun. It's something distracting for them to do.
2 cherries, and then you said raspberry, right?
Fun events, if you know where to find out about them. Events that are providing a break from the routine.
Especially during this time, we got to see our friends and everything.
Watch for more pop-up activities at parks across the city.
Yeah, those kids are definitely having fun. And along with that, we have also profiled another example of how Parks and Rec has adapted programming. Teams continue to offer daily classes on Zoom. Exercise, craft projects, and more are on the schedule for a range of age groups. Find the listing at cityofirving.org/3676. The park's special events team is also adapting the popular annual comedy event Laughs by the Lake. This year it's called Laughs by the Sofa, and it will be an interactive show with hosts from the Comedy Arena. Even though it's a virtual event, tickets are required. They are free. Laughs by the Sofa is Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. Find the link for tickets at cityofirving.org/parks, and you'll get the info on how to join the online event. The City of Irving's second annual Home Energy Fair is also going forward as a virtual event over 3 days. On Tuesday, August 25th, the topic is transitioning to renewable energy. On Wednesday, August 26th, it's how to make your home energy efficient. Then on Thursday, August 27th, tips and tricks for energy savings. The free sessions run from 11 a.m. until noon each of those days. Find the link to register at cityofirving.org/begreen. It is a big time of year at the Animal Care Campus. The annual Clear the Shelters campaign is underway. Brett has a virtual visit to introduce us to some of the pets available right now.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Pets of the Week. I'm Brett Wheeler, joined by Michael Whiteside as well as Megan McCarthy with Irving Animal Services. Megan, first up we have Serenity. Tell me about her.
So Serenity is a 3-year-old and around 60-pound pit bull mix. She's white and tan, and she has the little tan spot over her eye, kind of like the Target dog. She's just a big ball of fun. She'll love to chase tennis balls with you. She loves everybody she meets. And when she's done chasing tennis balls, she would love to just kind of lounge around with you in the sun.
And who would be a good fit for her?
I think really any sort of family or different people would be a good fit for Serenity. She kind of loves everybody she meets, and she doesn't seem like she's ever met a stranger.
All right, Michael, now you're up next. Who do you have?
So I'm actually going to be talking about a pair of dogs named Jake and Mickey. They are really special guys. They're senior dogs. Jake is about 10.5 years old. Mickey is about 8 years old. And both, I believe, were actually adopted on Clear the Shelters in 2014. Mickey came from DFW Humane Society. Jake came from Irving Animal Services. Unfortunately, their owner became disabled and wasn't able to care for them anymore. So we took both of them in. We're not really sure that they need to go together, but when you see them together in a yard, they just light up, and you can tell that they really enjoy spending time together. They're both Chihuahua mixes. Jake could stand to lose a couple of pounds, like many of us can these days, but they're both very calm when it comes to Chihuahuas. They love to just get petted and check out the people around them, and they're really calm and friendly. I know the owner had said that they slept together on the couch or bed at night, and they're both just kind of low-key senior guys that just need a good home for the remaining years that they have.
All right, Megan, up next we have Foxy. Tell me about Foxy.
So Foxy is a 6-year-old pit bull terrier mix. She was heartworm positive, but she's actually already been through her treatment, so she's ready to go home with any family without needing to go through our foster to adopt program first, since she's already gotten the treatment. She is the perfect mellow dog. She's a little bit shorter than some of our other large dogs that are here, and she just loves to lounge around, receive pets. She may drool on you a little bit, but we think that's okay. And I think she would do well with really any size home because she's so mellow and calm.
All right, Michael, up next we have a cool cat named Gina. Tell me about her.
Yeah, so Gina is about 2 years old. She's a medium hair cat, and she is just gorgeous. She's kind of this gray and white color with these beautiful eyes. She's really friendly, and she's curious and loves to play and run around on the cat trees and through the cat tunnels that we have in the cat colony. She doesn't mind being around other cats. She actually came from a case where there was a lot of cats in a home, and so they had to be surrendered. And she's just really friendly and sweet and just needs some cuddle time with her humans and possibly another feline friend to hang out with as well.
All right, now this is a very special time of the year at Irving Animal Care Campus where we're about to roll out with Clear the Shelters. And I know it's one of my favorite events of the year. Megan, things are going to be a little bit different this year, so tell me what's going to change.
Yes, so before adopters arrive for Clear the Shelters, we are asking that they look online and pick up to 2 pets that they'd like to meet. And then when they arrive at the shelter, we have a phone number for them to call so that we can place them in sort of a virtual line for service. And then once we get to their spot in line, we will call them, escort them into the building, and then a staff member will take them to meet their pets and then process their adoptions for them if it's a good fit.
Now, Michael, it's going to be a little bit of a limited access this year. What are the advantages of that when you're trying to meet a pet?
Right. You know, as Megan mentioned, we are asking people to identify pets before they get here. When they arrive, call us, and then we'll put them on the kind of virtual service line to come in and meet. And for some people, it's been a little aggravating, but I think one of the silver linings of it is that when you do come in to meet those pets that you're looking for, you get a little more personalized attention and you get some more details about the animals you're meeting that you wouldn't normally get if you were just wandering through the shelter and just picked an animal out. So I think it's really making, since we've been doing it, it's really making for some better adoptions because people are getting much more information about the pet as they're meeting them, which I think really sets them up for success with the adoption.
Right, and unlike in past years, this is going to be a multiple day event. Talk a little bit about that, Michael.
Yeah, so it's a full week. So for us, that's going to be Tuesday, August 25th through Saturday, August 29th. All of those days, the adoption fees for all pets in the Irving Animal Care Campus will be waived. So anytime from Tuesday through Saturday, you can come out, meet the pet, and there will be no adoption fee for those pets. And the goal obviously is to really have the shelters clear by the time we close the doors on Saturday, August 29th, which would be amazing to see again.
And that's the main purpose of Clear the Shelters, is really to give these dogs and cats and all the animals there at the Irving Animal Care Campus a shot at their forever home. So if you're interested in taking part in this year's Clear the Shelters, be sure to be on the lookout for that event. Back to you, Thomas.
All right, thanks a lot, everyone. The best way to adopt right now is to call the Animal Care Campus and make arrangements to meet. DFW Humane Society's number is 972-721-7788. For Irving Animal Services, call 972-721-2256. Also, check out the websites you see on your screen. More groups are stepping up to provide food to families in need. See how next time on City Source. Plus, see some of the businesses benefiting from a micro grant program through the Irving Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Those stories and a lot more next time on City Source. Remember, you can always email us your thoughts on our stories. The address is ictn@cityofirving.org. And find us on YouTube. Our channel is at youtube.com/thecityofirving. Subscribe and you can get notifications when we upload new videos. And that's it for this edition of City Source. Thanks for watching, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.